Hello there, my name is John Hill. We are in a relatively loud area, construction traffic. It's surprisingly hard to find an empty parking lot in LA without a lot of noise happening, but we are going to talk about the Shark wheel. Now they've sort of made a name in skateboarding because they look really bizarre. They're actually missing part of the centerpiece, and the whole point of that is actually to reduce running into pebbles and rocks when you're skating ground that might not be so good, which is pretty much all of street skateboarding. So the whole idea I respect it a lot. The next thing you might notice when looking at the wheels is the back here where it says 54 millimeters, 99A durometer. Now, if you don't know what durometer is, it's actually the hardness of the wheel. So it pretty much goes from like 75 to 101. So 99 is very hard. The larger the number, the harder it is, but also I'm used to skating 101A, which is the hardest a wheel can pretty much be. So ironically, even though I got these hard wheels that are supposed to have less friction, the wheels I skate now have even less friction. I'm gonna try about 10 tricks on my normal board, then the same tricks with these wheels. And by 10 tricks, I mean 10 flat ground tricks, rail tricks, and ledge tricks. So 30 tricks times 2 on each board, so 60 tricks total. But there is actually another difference. These are 54 millimeters. My wheels now are 52. So I also want to test that little range. I adjust very quickly to different sizes, but a lot of my friends skate 54, usually 53. I went to 52 because it makes tricks easier. I'm actually going to make a video in the future testing the smallest wheels versus the largest wheels, but today I want to see if a 54 might be my next calling, because it's actually better for the streets if the wheels are a little bit bigger. And typically in a session I hit 2 to 4 rocks, so let's see if that reduces to 0 rocks stopping me today. That's the goal. So let's start with some flat ground tricks first. I'm hitting rocks. These wheels are white for now, but they're about to get dark, like instantly. The second I roll, they're gonna be black. See how high above the ground I feel. Doesn't feel much different. I'm telling you, like the little nuances have never, ever bothered me at all. Dude, these feel great. The actual wheels themselves, they feel very similar to my other wheels. I love that they're 2 millimeters bigger, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, the difference between 54 and 52. Genuinely cannot tell the difference at all. 2 whole millimeters, the flip tricks feel exactly the same. The timing feels exactly the same. There actually was a slight difference in a slightly bigger wheel. The actual wheel itself, to me, I can't really tell the difference between this and a normal wheel. I will say that this is probably lighter in a sense, but since it's 2 millimeters bigger, it's probably about the same size as my wheel. So let's get into the flat ledge. This ground isn't that good, obviously. It's just like cracks everywhere, but. I think I've done 9 tricks. I can't remember the one. There's always one trick I can't remember. So I'm just gonna do a kickflip back 5-0 and a kickflip back tail, because those are cool, and these wheels feel great. They feel just like my other wheels, so. Smith grind. That was it. I did a Smith grind. Ooh, kind of sticky. Dude, fuck. Struggling with the kickflip back tail today, wow. Oh my God, okay. Well, at least I picked one trick that I'm gonna struggle with. This is so slippery on top because in hot weather, wax just melts off. So really it's just like a layer of like grease on top. So if your board doesn't get onto it, your foot's gonna slide, but other than that, it slides really good. I still didn't like that. I felt like I fell out of it instead of like pop out. Dude, I might just have to take it. This is hard. That's fine. What the other trick I did was. Oh, thank you, front row. So would I recommend these wheels? Actually, the most popular skate wheel I can think of is the Formula 4 from Spitfire. And those are actually, you can get 99 or 101 hardness durometer as well. So they're probably gonna feel very similar to these wheels, just like the wheels I skate, just like most street wheels. I think they're kind of in that range, especially if you are someone who street skates more. But if you're skating bowls, you really don't want a slipperier wheel because it's gonna be so smooth, especially if you're skating skate parks all the time. So here's my recommendation, and I would love for anyone out there who is a lot more pickier than I am. I'm the least picky skateboarder on the planet. I've been skateboarding for 23 years, and I really could care less about like small measurements, except for deck size. I like an 825. I can get used to an 8 or an 8.5, but I skate an 825 width. So please comment down below, especially if you're like a beginner and you find big differences in wheels. I think people would find that very useful. My recommendation in terms of sizes, there are only really a few factors that I think about, but I think if you street skate more, it doesn't hurt to have this slightly bigger wheel. So I'm only talking from 52, 53, and 54. These are the 3 wheel sizes that most people skate. So I say if you are used to street skating a lot, I think a 54 millimeter would do well for you, especially if you're skating any type of terrain that's even slightly rough. But if you're skating smooth spots and you like that timing to be a little quicker, like you're more obsessed with maybe flip tricks instead of just like alling into things, then a 52 is actually pretty good because your tail will hit the ground faster because you're slightly closer to the ground. So I actually skate a 52, but that's also because I've been skateboarding a lot of parks recently. So if you're in parks all the time, a 52, in terms of if it's really hard, it can be slippery, but I don't mind that at all because it also helps with certain flip tricks. If you have slippery wheels, it can help you spin the board and flip the board faster. So if that's all you really care about and you have smooth ground, I would recommend a 52. Vert or transition and then street, if you're skating those a lot, then I think a 54 would suit you well. And then I think in terms of these wheels specifically, I know that a lot of people think of them as sort of gimmicky. I know a lot of skateboarders that I know aren't skating shark wheels, but I genuinely did not feel a difference at all. And I think if you kind of like the way that it looks, or you like the vibe of it, or you like the fact that you might hit less pebbles, which I didn't hit a single one, then maybe you could try them out. I think, let me check the price. One thing I noticed that's kind of funny is that the shark wheels are $49.99 and the Spitfire Formula 4s, which is pretty much the most popular skate wheel there is $46.95, at least through Tactics Board Shop. And then the wheel that I normally skate, which is a Force Wheels, which is the company I'm pro for, it's $31.99. So my wheel is $18 cheaper, but the reason is because I said Tactics Board Shop a second ago, Deluxe Distribution, the one who owns Spitfire, Reel, Crooked, they always sell their brands through skate shops, and they've been doing it for the longest amount of time so that the skate shops make some money and then the brand makes some money. The only reason Revive and Force didn't initially start that way is because they didn't really know that that was a concept. He was on YouTube, the guy who ran the company, and then people were like, you should create a board company. He goes, okay. So he just got boards in the warehouse and he started selling them, and then a lot of the industry was like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to do that. And he's like, what happened? And they're like, the skate shops aren't making money. So Revive tried to get kind of into that, but then it became hard because customers were used to him selling things for a certain price, like $31.99. So it became really hard to change because then you had to deal with either having the skate industry be a little upset or having the consumers be a little upset, aka the customers, aka the fans. So that's why it's so much cheaper. I just thought that was interesting. I either already made the video or I'm gonna make another video about skating the smallest wheel size versus the largest wheel size, because honestly for me, these 3 wheel sizes, there wasn't much of a difference. So let's test that out, and maybe we've already done that. I don't know. I'll link it down below if I have. If I haven't already, that's the next video that I'm gonna film. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another skate video. Appreciate your face. Take care, progress daily, and keep killing it.